For the past few years, the base iPhone model seemed like a bad deal. They came with older designs, they lacked the flagship upgrades of the Pro model, they came with worse cameras, and they even came with older chips that literally made them age more poorly than their Pro counterparts, and the iPhone 15 from last year won't be getting Apple Intelligence features because of that decision. But now with the iPhone 16, did Apple finally fix this enough to consider buying this year, or is it another year where you should just stick to the Pro models? Now, I've been testing the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Pro all month, and I have been using Notion for the same amount of time, helping me write and script my videos for this entire busy season. And Notion is more than just a note-taking app. It's more like a supercharged project planning app that combines the best aspect of note-taking, project planning, and time management all into one. Now, I know this looks daunting at first, and you're probably wondering, how much time did I spend creating these advanced layouts? Well, the truth is, I'm pretty lazy, and I would never have the patience to set up these fancy project pages all on my own. The secret is I didn't have to do any work. I just went to Notion's template store where I can browse from literally thousands of free or paid pre-made templates that fit my note-taking needs. And this is the most organized I have ever been in a note-taking app, and I can track all the key stats of my project goals, as well as just keep an organized workspace. And for some of my videos, I've been using other templates as well, so I can create things like a checklist and keep track of all of the shots I have to do for my next video. You can even make the process even easier by asking Notion AI to help you with your own writing creation. So you can have it create a table for you, and I even asked Notion to help me plan this iPhone 16 review by asking it what areas a reviewer might cover to make sure that I didn't miss out on any of the key details for this video. To learn more and to try Notion for yourself, check out the link in the description below, and thank you to Notion for sponsoring this video. Now, one thing sticks out very clearly this year about the iPhone 16, where the previous few base models felt like afterthoughts with their design. The normal models this year get a unique design that stands out more than the Pro model design, and they are instantly recognizable as looking new, whereas the Pros aren't. That's thanks to a new vertical camera arrangement, which for some reason just looks so much more aesthetically pleasing than the old diagonal arrangement, and better than the square camera bump. But by far, the most recognizable aspect of this new design is the new bold color choices. They come with really nice, vibrant colors like pink, aquamarine, and teal, and all of them look great in person, and they are by far the best colors we have seen on iPhone models in a very long time. Now, yeah, when you flip the iPhone over, you're basically getting the same design you got with the iPhone 15 with the dynamic island, and yeah, the bezels aren't as razor thin as the Pro models, but still, this iPhone comes out somehow looking newer than the 16 Pro, at least from the back. The display size is the same as last year's model. It comes in at 6.1 inch or 6.7 inches for the Plus model, and the display specs are the same too, even down to the 60 Hz refresh rate and the lack of an always-on display. I've said my opinion on 60 Hz versus 120 Hz so many times that I don't even feel like mentioning it, so I'll just say that if you're bothered by the lack of 120 Hz, well, you know who you are. You don't want this phone, and you're in the market for a Pro model anyway, so I don't even know why you're watching. It's probably because you just like my face. You think I'm I'm eye candy to you. That's disgusting. I don't even know if the sponsor's gonna approve this segment of the video. So yes, if you're bothered by the lack of a 120 Hz display, you're buying the Pro model, right? But if you don't know what that is, I'm gonna guess you don't care. And what I actually think is a bigger deal is the lack of an always-on display. It's something that normal users can understand more clearly. And it's something that during this review period, my mom even noticed that the Pro models had this feature and the normal iPhones didn't. And she never mentioned 120 Hz or a smoother display at all. She just mentioned one time, hey, your phone screen's still on. And she didn't realize that it came with an always-on display. Now, a big plus of this kind of unchanged design in terms of sizing is that if you prefer a smaller phone, well, the normal iPhone model is actually smaller this year than the Pro model. So that makes it feel a lot more comfortable, especially because of the aluminum sides, which makes them lighter than the Pro models. They especially feel really nice and sleek if you decide to use them caseless. The normal iPhones even get an exclusive feature that the Pros had last year with the action button, where you can map quick commands. I love the flexibility of this button over the mute switch, and it's much more helpful for those of us that just constantly kept our phone on mute anyway, because we didn't want it to ring really loudly and create like an anxiety panic attack. Just me? Okay. Well, right now I have mine set to do not disturb, so people don't disturb me while I'm recording this video. Very, very helpful for a video creator. And a good thing is that Apple didn't decide to keep their new button exclusive to the Pro models this year because yes, the normal iPhone 16 also comes with that new camera button, which allows you to quickly open the camera app, take a picture with it, and even toggle through some of the settings and control things like zooming in and out. And listen, I'll be honest, this button has been a mixed bag for me. I actually think it works best on the normal iPhone 16 model because of its lightweight, and the button is in a better position for vertical control on a smaller device. As a button, it does work well to launch the camera app, and taking pictures with it is pretty simple, although sometimes it does shake the camera a little too much. But doing things like zoom or changing the exposure just don't seem that intuitive to me. The camera itself is actually really good this year. I think if you put normal photos side by side against the Pro model, it's very close, right? You got a pixel peep to kind of tell the difference, and sometimes you can't even tell a difference. What I love about both phones this year, the normal and the Pro, is Apple's new photographic styles, where you can change how your photos look very easily. I think this is something normal people can really pick up on because it's not that hard to use. And pro tip, I really like using the amber and gold settings. And extra pro tip, Tyler Stallman also offered a suggestion of bringing the tone down to like 60, boosting the color up to 20. And I have to say that photos look really good in this setting. Or again, you can just experiment for yourself and pick, the style of photos that you want to take and how you like them to look. Because again, if you want to edit these later and get that standard profile back, well, you can do that at any time, even if you've been taking photos with your pre-made profile this entire time. You can always go back and revert them, even if you took them in black and white. The ultra-wide angle camera also gets a bigger boost than I thought this year because it now gets autofocus, which used to be an exclusive feature on the Pro models. This now lets you get closer to subjects and still get focus, and you can even access a macro mode for really up-close, detailed shots. Now, there are two notable things you're going to be missing out on by picking a normal iPhone model. The first one is all the extra controls you can get in the camera app with settings like ProRes Video or ProRAW Photos. Still, the default photos and videos look great even without these extra pro features, and they look great straight out of the camera without any work on the user's end, which is what most people, including myself, want most of the time. All right, what about the chip? Because for the past few years, you got a really degraded chip experience on the normal iPhone models, and notably last year, the iPhone 15 came with an older A16 chip that doesn't even support the Apple Intelligence features that got announced this year. Thankfully, on the normal 16, it comes with a full A18 chip, which is ready for all of those advanced Apple Intelligence AI features that we will be getting later this month and more advanced features early next year. So this is a future-proof phone that will continue to get the most important software updates right alongside the iPhone 16 Pro. Furthermore, it's a very powerful chip that is almost on par with the A18 Pro chip, and the performance of these normal and Pro iPhones has never been closer. And both phones, and I think this may be the first time ever that the normal and Pro models both come with the same exact 8 gigabytes of memory. So apps stay open long in the background, they don't need to refresh as often as they do on some of the older iPhone models. Both iPhones feel snappy and both perform exactly the same in day-to-day tasks. And even in more demanding tasks like editing video or photos, these phones feel exactly the same. The only area where the A18 Pro chip is better is with GPU performance because it gets one more GPU core over the base A18 chip. If you don't play high-end games on your iPhone or aren't using like an edge use case where GPU performance really matters, you probably will never notice the difference, and you could even play high-end AAA level games that used to be exclusive to the Pro models last year on the iPhone 16. And to my eyes, they seem to run very similarly on both iPhone models, and I just don't think that the extra GPU core is a reason alone to step up to the Pro models this year. Even the battery life on the normal iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Pro seem to be very similar, despite the fact that the Pro model actually got physically bigger and has a bigger battery, and Apple even lists the Pro model as having better battery life over the normal 16. However, in many battery tests and with my own usage, the battery life seems very close to each other, and the 16 Pro doesn't seem to be getting that huge battery boost that we found on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. In fact, if we go back and look at almost every category from this review, the big problems that older base model iPhones used to have, for the most part, they have been fixed on this new iPhone 16 model. And while for the past few years it seemed like the normal iPhone and the Pro iPhone models were kind of drifting farther apart, this year, they are more alike than they have been in quite some time. And it makes the normal iPhone 16 model a really easy recommendation because it's 20% cheaper than the Pro model with 95% of the features. So this year, the normal iPhone models might be the ones to get. And the crazy part is, even as good as the iPhone 16 is right now, the best is yet to come as we get new features that are rolling out later this year with Apple Intelligence. All right, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please give me a like. If you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed and let me know, what do you think of the iPhone 16 in the comments below? Do you agree with me that it finally caught up to the Pro models this year? As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.